Hey Christian, it's nice that you're here with us, and thanks for taking the time to share some of your story and some of what worked in your business life. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah, great. So Christian, so you have a website, a business. Is it just an online business, or you have? Tell me a little bit of how is your business today? Is it a bricks and mortar business, or is it an online business?
It's an online business. I have an office for myself, which I got about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So before that, I just worked from home until I had a baby that started learning how to walk and chasing me around the house.
I know that. Yeah.
So then I had to get an office, which I love. And I host live events from time to time. I used to do a lot more. This is the first year I haven't held any, but I've got one coming up, actually two events coming up in January. So.
Oh, great. And what is the main, what does your business do? So what do you sell, and how do you help your clients?
We help people get started in personal coaching, like business coaching, sales coaching, relationship coaching, weight loss coaching. Basically, we teach people how to get started as a personal coach. And then the more important thing we do is we teach people how to get clients and how to make money and...
as coaches?
As a coach, yeah. How to make money as a coach. How to get clients is the number one thing that we do.
And how is your business doing right now? So how long are you in business? And
well, I've been a coach for around 13 years, and then I've been helping other coaches for like 7 years, something like that.
Good. And would you be able to tell a little bit of your story and how you end up having an online business, and how did it work out? How does it all started?
Sure. So, well, I started off actually as a client of a coach, and I had a job that I hated, and I had a business I'd started that wasn't working, and I was in a relationship that wasn't working, and I was out of shape. And I hired a coach, and 9 months later, everything was changed. I quit my job. I was working for myself in my business full time. I was out of that bad relationship. I was back in great shape, and able to support myself in my business. And that was a major breakthrough. Changed my life completely. And I just was so in love with personal growth stuff, and I loved the coaching I was getting. And I thought, and even though I had this business now, it was probably maybe another 6 months after that, after I finished my coaching, I was like, I had this business that was making some money, but it wasn't something I was really passionate about. And I thought, wow, maybe I could become a coach. So then I started my own coaching business, and I was $72,000 in debt from the other business.
Okay.
So I basically then killed that business, started this other business completely in debt, having no other income. I had some money coming in from that business still, but not much. And I got clients in my first month as a coach, but really for the whole, the first 2 years or so, it was just a constant struggle. I'd get some clients, I'd lose some clients, income would go up, income would go down. Would fall behind on my mortgage every couple of months, and then it'd catch back up, and then finally every time I felt like I was turning the corner, then I just wasn't, until finally I got to the point where I felt like either I was going to quit my business and just get a job, because I was feeling so exhausted from how hard I was working but not making as much money, not making enough money. Or I thought, you know what, the only reason I need to make money is to pay for my house and to pay for my car. Yeah. I didn't have a family back then. And I thought, I made the decision that I'd rather be homeless and do what I love for the world, even, because it may not be for a living at that point if I'm not making money, than make money and have a house and a car. And that was the turning point for me, because I was so committed to doing what I love and helping people. And then, of course, I drew the line in the sand because I didn't want to have to be homeless. Yeah. So I started reading a book a week, every week for 36 weeks straight. I read a book on business growth, marketing, personal growth, and started turning everything around. Finally cracked the code. I took all the things that I was learning, and I tested this and tried this and tweaked this, and there was nothing out there in the world to help a coach get clients. And a lot of the stuff that was out there either worked really bad or didn't work at all. So that was even worse, because then not only did I have to overcome trying things out and not knowing what to do, I was being told stuff to do that didn't really work or didn't work well, that I had to overcome too. So But eventually I did. I started making a good living as a coach, and then a handful of coaches hired me to help them grow their coaching businesses. And so it took me probably personally 4 or 5 years before I was making six figures, making over $100,000 a year in my coaching business, which wasn't even a goal when I first started. When I first started, I just wanted to be able to make the same kind of money I had in my last job, maybe make around $35,000 a year, but be able to do something I really loved.
Got it.
But eventually I made six figures. But these other coaches that hired me, I was able to help them grow their business from zero to, over 100,000 a year within 4 out of 5 of them within 18 months, and one of them did it within 90 days. And that's when I realized that all the stuff that I learned through trial and error, I could share with other coaches, and then they could get results way faster than I did. So it was probably another couple years after that finally I just surrendered, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna, more and more coaches started coming to me, and eventually I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna help coaches get clients. And
okay.
And personally, coaching has changed my life so much back then, but it also, I was single for about 4 years, just dating a lot, and nothing was clicking, and I hired a relationship coach, and 4 months after that I met the woman who I'm now married to. We've been together for 8 years this month, and we've been married for just over 3 years, and we have two girls. Thank God for that coach, and I believe that coaching is the most powerful force for change on earth. My mission is to get the whole world coached, and I'm so excited that I get to help coaches get clients, because then they get to help more people, and they get to make a bigger difference in the world.
Yeah.
So that's my story of how I got started, and kind of where I'm at today.
Okay, cool. So and then you decided. I got this part when you decided, and then you start helping coaches to get more clients. And,
yes.
And how did you after you found your mission, you knew that's what you wanted to do, and how did you actually go about finding new coaches? Was that a one-on-one job, or how did you actually scale your business? What was the strategy? Was it offline, online?
Well, initially I got clients offline. I didn't even have a website for the first few years of my business. And then my first website was a picture of my business card.
Yes.
And then after that I had a really crappy website for many years.
A picture of your business card.
A picture of my business card was my website.
That's really original. If you don't have a website, at least you know where to start, right?
Well, it was back, this was a while ago, when the internet was new, and I was like, and then everybody was like, you gotta have a website, but that was the only thing I could get on the website at that time.
Yeah.
So anyway, so in early days, I was getting clients without having a website, without having an email list. I started building a list, but that was not of coaches. I was going to coaching conferences where I was getting coach training, and I would meet coaches.
Yeah.
And this was even before I was even thought, okay, I'm going to do anything to sell anything to coaches. I just wanted to meet as many other coaches as I could, because I was living in a suburb of Chicago at the time, working by myself in my house all by myself.
Yeah.
Alone, lonely. So I just wanted to meet as many coaches as I could. So I'd go to a coaching conference, and I would just meet as many people as I could, got their business cards, and then I added them to I created an email list for coaches, but no thought to sell anything, no thought to do anything with it really, other than stay connected with those coaches. And so, I grew a list of a couple hundred people, not very big,
Yeah.
And then slowly over maybe a couple years, my list got to 300 or 400 people or something.
Wow.
Nothing.
Nothing outrageous.
I wasn't trying to grow it per se. Really, I meet a couple people, add them to my list, and then I thought, when I finally realized that I should be helping these coaches, that's when all of a sudden things shifted. I started writing articles for coaches, and I started writing just the best ideas I possibly had on helping them get clients, things that most people would charge for.
Yes.
I would put in my email and give away for free. And I had a coach that was coaching me at the time on my business, and he was like, don't give that, oh my God, it was scaring him.
I know, yeah.
It was scaring him for me to give that much stuff in my emails, and I'm like, you know what, then hallelujah, I'm on the right track, because I'm on a mission.
Yes.
So I started sharing that stuff, and through word of mouth, my list started growing. Also, I set the intention that I wanted to be the leader of the coaching industry. And within a few months of that, I got a phone call from Forbes magazine.
Forbes?
Forbes.
Like the one that publishes the richest...
Yeah, Forbes magazine.
Yeah,
so they called me up, and they were going to do an article on surprising six-figure careers.
Yes.
And like, you know, I don't know how the hell they found. I don't know why or how the universe got that writer to call me on the phone, and he found my website through the internet. And what else is this is crazy. So he calls me up, and I don't take the call. It goes right to voicemail. I answer, I check my voicemail. I'm having a horrible day that day. I didn't want to call the guy back. He wanted to interview me. First I thought he was trying to sell me a subscription to Forbes, you know? I'm like, why is Forbes calling me? They wanted to know like some details about the coaching industry. So, and he left it all on my voicemail, exactly what he wanted to know. I was having a bad day. I was like, I'll just call him tomorrow. And then I thought, well, shit, he's going to call somebody else to get this information. I'm like, I better call him right now. So I call him back. First, I gathered all the info he wanted, so that when I called him back and he interviewed me, that I could have all this information for him.
Yeah.
So I call him up, I give him all the info, and I'm like, what's your email address? I'm like, I'll send you some more information based on the stuff that we talked about.
Yes.
And I asked him, hey, can you put my website in the article? Mm-hmm. And he said, no, we can't do that. I'm like, could you put a link to my website in the article? He's like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, well, can you at least list my website, even if you can't hyperlink it? He's like, I don't know if I could do that, but we'll see.
I see, yeah.
Then I email him, I follow back up, I send him some more info to back up all the stuff that we shared in the article. And then there again, I said, can you please list my website in the article? He's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
But that website didn't even exist yet.
It's your business.
It was a
not
URL.
even with a business card.
No, this was a different web. I mean, I'd had a website for my other that wasn't for coaches, but I just started working with coaches, like that. I decided I'm going to really work with coaches now, and I had a website that was that I had paid somebody to create a website for me, but it wasn't up yet when I was emailing him. I'm like, it's going to be up, but it'll be up and it'll be ready. And then all of a sudden, and I said, you know, email me when the article goes out, and I'll spread the word about it for you and get some more people to know about the article, because, you know, I mean, I figured that he'd want that, right?
Sure.
So all of a sudden, I started getting subscribers out of nowhere from, and I got some people who knew me from back in Chicago, because I had moved to San Diego at this point, emailing me and saying, like, past clients were like, hey, I just saw you're on Yahoo. And I'm like, Yahoo? I'm like, what is Yahoo? And then he showed me the article. Yeah. And the Forbes article got picked up by Yahoo. It got picked up by Yahoo in Canada. It got picked up by MSN eventually. Like, it just kept a couple days later and a couple days later. And just when I thought it was over, and then all of a sudden I'd get a rush of more subscribers. I didn't get, like, you know, I got maybe, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers from that, which was obviously huge. But also, the article had my website in it. Yeah. And luckily, it just went live, although all the pages didn't work yet.
So basically,
But I had an opt-in page on the front page.
So you had the concept of opt-in pages back then?
Well, it wasn't actually an opt-in page. I mean, this was 7 or 8 years ago. I had an opt-in on my website. It was the most prominent thing on the site. It still had links to other stuff. It wasn't a traditional opt-in page, but I did have an opt-in. But what's crazy is I didn't have the right offer for that group of people. All, you know, my website that I was building was for people who were already coaches, to teach them how to get clients. And now I was getting all these people who didn't know, who wanted to learn how do you get started as a coach.
I got it, yeah.
And so then I quickly changed the offer on my opt-in page for people to get the first chapter of my book, How to Quickly Get Started as a Personal Coach, make a great living doing what you make great money changing people's lives.
Yeah.
So I promised to give them the first chapter of the book for free when they opted in. Now, I hadn't written the book yet, but I just quickly wrote the first chapter so I could give it to them for free and get them on my list. And so, yeah, like I said, I got about 2,000-3,000 subscribers from that. And that was the start. And then, of course, just, again, emailing my list, a lot of great content. Through word of mouth, I started growing my list. And that's really I mean, honestly, word of mouth is the #1 way that I was growing my list in the early days. It was not the fastest way.
Yeah.
But I think we got our list up to around 8,000, almost 100% from word of mouth over the course of maybe 2 years or something
just by
like that.
publishing great content, the best nuggets and stuff.
2 to 3 times a week I was sending
A
an
lot of
article.
people are afraid of actually giving up their best thing, right? So what do you have to say about that? You know, because this is not intuitive, so you tend
Sure.
to want to keep.
You want to just keep your
best
secrets.
so that you can sell, right?
Well,
you can make money. So you're telling me that you give your stuff, the best stuff for free, and then you make more money. Is that what you're saying?
Give your best stuff for free and you'll make money.
Is it like that?
It's 100% true.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had two great role models back then. One was Thomas Leonard, who really a lot of people consider to be the father of the coaching industry, the professional coaching industry.
Yeah.
And he was just giving away tons of stuff, not necessarily in his emails, but he had a website where he just put a lot of great stuff. And then Evan Pagan, who you may,
yeah,
I'm sure
I know him.
Evan. But I met him actually at a Thomas Leonard event back in the day, and I got a chance to talk to him a little bit. He talked on stage for maybe like 15 minutes. He didn't really teach that much. But then I went up and talked to him later, and I got on his list. He was talking about marketing stuff, but his business, he didn't teach marketing stuff back then. He only taught
seduction, right?
Yeah, dating advice for men. So, but I was on his list, and he was giving away so much great stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And for years, I actually had writer's block. I just felt like I couldn't write a lot, and finally had a breakthrough on that, and that coincided right with launching into helping coaches grow their business. And I was just like, I'm just going to give all this great stuff, and yeah, it's definitely worked. I mean, it gets more people on your list. It makes it bonds with your list.
Yes.
They love you, and then they want to hire you and buy more stuff from you, because if that stuff's good, then they think, well, what is the stuff that they're getting? Plus, here's the other thing. Even if let's say you had an info product, even if you took the whole info product and you like shattered it into like 50 different little pieces, and you gave one of those pieces away every week for 50 weeks, which that's almost a year's worth of content right there. People still would want to buy the whole thing just to get it all together in one system at one time.
Of course,
because getting little pieces is great, but when people are ready, then they want the whole thing.
They want the whole thing.
So give away your best stuff for free. I always do it. I think the more generous you can be, it's good for the world, it's good for you, and it's good for the people on your list.
Got it. And now let's talk about how big is your business right now, so that we can get a sense of what scale are you operating?
Yeah, so we're doing
your list.
Yeah, we've got 41,000 coaches on our list now.
Yeah.
We're doing about $1 million a year in sales.
Nice, $1 million a year.
Yeah, and a little bit less this year because I've been. Although you never know, the year's not over. Still have a couple months, so we could probably get back to $1 million. Might only do about 800,000 this year. I've actually taken a lot of my staff energy, my time. We've been focusing. We just created a new coaching association that we just launched like a week and a half ago. Well, 2 weeks ago today. 2-week anniversary of our coaching association, and but it's taken our team. I mean, we basically started working on that project in January, and now we're in October. Late October, so we've been putting a lot of time and energy into that, and money, but so even though it's costing me a whole lot to create this thing, long term I think it's going to
I got it. Yeah,
give us huge dividends, but yeah, that's where we're at.
And how many employees full-time employees you have?
I have, well, let's see, I don't work full-time. I work about 15 to 20 hours a week.
So you work 15 to 20 hours a week. I mean, for real.
Yeah, for real. So I work 15 to 20 hours a week, and I've been doing that for the last 2 years.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So I don't work full-time. I have two full-time people that are officially full-time. I have 10 people total on my team.
Officially full-time, that's
so,
fine.
well, they're officially full-time, and I pay them salary.
Yeah.
They're actually independent contractors still, because they actually have their own businesses, and they have their own clients of other sorts.
But they work.
And they work maybe about 35 hours a week for me, so they still have time to do other stuff for other people, for other clients. And then I have some VAs, and one of them has other clients, and she's not full time, but she does work a lot of hours for us. You know, and
So it's
then
like
so
3
yeah,
or 4 maybe
3 or 4.
sort of full-time people, so that
Yeah, so maybe like 2, maybe 2.5 full. You could say 2. I mean,
No, I
a lot
mean,
of people. So we got 10 people on our
no,
team.
it's not bad, right? Because I want you to like
Sure.
distinguish this, because you know it's a business that's turning over 800 to 1 million a year. You know, like,
Sure.
and then with 3 or 4 employees, for a lot of people, this is like impossible. So I just like to making sure that this is actually on camera, so because they understand the possibility of, you know, like being on the internet, helping a lot of people, making a difference, like you're doing. And
Well, I could have less people. I mean, I could run my business with probably 2 people,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
me plus 2 people.
and then you have to work 40 hours, right?
Well, even working the hours that I am, I could probably do that. But I want to take bet like we. So one of the things we focus on is loving the shit out of our customers. That's not a phrase I've ever said before, and you might need to censor that.
yeah.
But
Loving the about my customers.
you know, we want to just take such great care of our customers. So I have a client happiness team. You know, some people have a customer service team. We have a client happiness team. Their job is to make our customers and clients and the people
Ultra
on our
happy.
list super happy.
I know.
We
that.
send out birthday gifts to people on their birthdays. Somebody actually here just happened to saw me, came up to me. He's like, "You just sent me a birthday present." He's like, "I can't believe it." He's like, "Thank you so much." And I'm like, "I never saw it. I had no idea who the guy was."
Yeah, but we have the
And
system, right?
But we have the system. You know, so there's a lot of things we could do to. I could increase profits by doing less customer service. I
Yes.
could increase profits by not doing this big crazy project that's been eating up all of our time and money over the course of this year. I could, you know, there's a lot of things I could do to even have less overhead. You know, my payroll monthly is around $22,000 to $25,000 a month.
Nice.
You know, but we're making, you know, 60 to 80,000, or 60 to, you know, sometimes over $100,000 in a month.
I got it. Yeah.
So anyway, so there you
Okay,
go.
yeah, but you know, I know your time is very precious, and we always in this series of interviews I ask 3 questions.
Okay.
And I know, you know, your time is very precious, so I get down to the point as well. So
Get
like,
to the nitty-gritty.
So the first question now, if you know, you have this great experience, you were a coach and you were featured in all sorts of stuff, and
Sure.
now you have this huge list and stuff, but if I were to strip everything from you, you know, like just leave, what I mean is like, take your relationship, except for your wife, that's fine. As
Get
long
rid
as
of
she's
my email list.
get rid of
of
your
my
connections,
JV partners.
but and
change my name.
change your name, take
And
you
throw
out of
me in some other city.
okay, throw you in some other country.
In
that
some
you-
other country.
Well, maybe Brazil if you were to speak in Brazil.
Sure.
And how would you go, you know, like it took some time for you, but of course because you know some stuff right now,
Sure.
you would
Way
probably do something different. So how would you go about starting
I would-
right now from scratch?
Starting from scratch, I would go right back and do exactly what I did to start my business 13 years ago. Only I would do it a million times better and a million times faster. So if you want to get coaching clients, you can try to build a list and all that stuff, and that's great. And I highly recommend building a list for the long-term impact of your business.
Yeah,
But if you want to make money and get clients fast,
right now.
you can just go to local networking events. You know, I used to go to local business networking events. In the U.S., they have a chamber of commerce for your local city. I lived in the suburbs, and there were a lot of different little suburbs around, so I could go to different chamber of commerce meetings. There's probably, even in Brazil, I would guess, I don't know, but there's probably networking groups. BNI, Business Networking International, is a networking group. LATIP is a networking group. And there's probably others. And I would just go to those and I would seek out clients, and I would try to get speaking gigs where I could actually speak and teach something.
Yeah.
And so I would network to find potential clients and offer free coaching sessions.
Yeah.
And then from those free sessions, I would sign up clients using my system now that I called Free Sessions That Sell.
Yes. Do you have a link for this system, or
Yeah,
is this
freesessionsthatsell.com.
freesessionsthatsell.com? I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that teaches people how to do a session with a potential client and sign them up for high-paying coaching right on the spot. It
So
works.
it's like a system, like a formula. Step 1, step 2. Step
It's the script, an outline, exactly what questions to say,
that's
to
nice,
ask,
man.
And then all the training will teach you, why we're asking that question and all that stuff, so that you are super strong and confident when you're taking people through it.
So you go and you network and you get some clients.
So I'd network. I'd offer free sessions at the networking event. I would look at the networking event. I would look for what we call strategic alliance partners, what you and I know of as JV partners.
That's right. Yeah.
I'd look for people who market to the same people that I do, and I would get them to promote a live event or workshop that I'm doing.
Okay.
So I would have a workshop maybe 30 to 60 days from the day you threw me out there. I would find a place to host an event, and then I would get people to help me fill the room.
Yeah.
And I would give them things. I'd give them exposure to all the people in the room for helping me get more people into the room. So I would incentivize them, help me get people in the room. I would teach my best stuff possible to the people who were in the room, and I'd make a free session offer to the people in the room, and I would get between 80 and 100% of the people in the audience would want to have a session with me, because I'd be teaching them great stuff, and they of course would want to talk to me one-on-one. I mean, that would be great. So and then from there I would convert probably 60 to 80% of those people that are having a session with me to sign up for coaching with me right on the spot. And I think I could grow it took me four years or so to grow my business from 0 to 6 figures. I could do it within 60 days in any city, and possibly even within a couple of weeks.
That's great.
Maybe even in just a couple of days, at least if it was an English-speaking city.
Nice. I mean, this is nice because you're giving the specific steps you would take. So anyone would watch this and follow the same steps, they would actually get the result. And then from there, you could do all sorts of stuff to grow your business to another level, but I think we should stay with these first steps right now.
For sure.
This is great. And the other two questions that I want to ask is, first of all, I mean, what is, we talk about with my clients about the concept of blind spots. So in blind spots, I'm not sure if you use the same definition as I do, but it's something that you are not aware that you're not aware. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly when you are aware, it's not a blind spot anymore, and the distinction of that blind spot makes it, something possible for you. So basically, can you look back and see a blind spot that you have? Of course you don't have anymore, because now you can see it, right? But something that you look at the past that you don't have, which made a real difference. Once you got it, then your business take off, or anything else in your life took off. So would you be able to?
Sure. Biggest blind spot. Probably had 1 billion blind spots over the years. I'd say number one was the value of what I had to offer. That's probably the biggest blind spot. I started off clients pay me $9,700 a month to work with me one-on-one.
$9,700, wow.
So that's about over $115,000 a year per client.
Yeah.
And I spend a half hour or so with them, weekly.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
Sure, it's not bad. It's not bad.
You must be providing a lot of value as well.
For sure. Back when I started, I was charging.
Else they wouldn't pay, right?
Right. Back when I started, I was only charging $195 a month.
Yes.
Same amount of time, same amount of coaching. Now certainly I've grown and I've got a bigger list and all that stuff. And I don't know that if I were to start, even if you threw me in a city, I wouldn't start off like brand new and nobody knew who the hell I was. I wouldn't start off charging $9,700 a month, probably not. But I'd charge at least $1,000 a month for coaching. And back then I was charging $195 a month. So if I could start over, the biggest blind spot I had, because I grew up poor, I grew up on food stamps and special lunch programs and food that was donated, to food pantries and things like that. So hand-me-down clothes that were 10 years out of style, and so like money was like so, like $1 felt like so much money. So to charge $195 felt like so much, and in reality it was a lot per hour. I mean, if I was for half hour, let's say 2 hours worth of work a month, I was getting paid $200. I mean, that's like $100 an hour, which is a lot of money. But that's the great thing about coaching, because you can make so much money, because people don't pay you for your time. People pay you for results. And so if you can help people produce a result, what is the value of the result? If you could help somebody lose weight, what's the value of helping somebody lose weight and keep it off forever? Finally lose weight and keep it off forever. What's that worth? there's clients that would probably easily pay $10,000 for that result, right? Without having to do surgery and all that crap. So, you know, if you can help somebody grow their business, what's that worth? You know, it's going to depend on, you know, different businesses. It might be different, and depending on where the business is, it might be different. But, you know, the value of results are high, and I was just charging based on the value of coaching and the value of my time or whatever. And that was looking back now. In fact, probably until we had this conversation, I don't know that I would have realized that that was my biggest blind spot.
Wow.
But looking back now, that's definitely my biggest blind spot.
Good. And this is as a last question. This is a bit of a similar question, right? But
Sure.
probably be rephrased in a different way. But what do you think was your biggest breakthrough? You know, was your growth always? Yeah.
No, biggest breakthroughs have all been inner game breakthroughs.
Okay, tell me about one.
Well,
I
so
mean, one that comes to your mind, maybe.
sure.
I know it's a bit of a
this
personal
is
thing, maybe
no,
a
no,
personal thing,
don't
but
mind.
yeah.
I'd share them all if I could.
Yeah.
The number one, biggest one was confidence. So, and there's a lot of reasons why. See, because so many things, because of the way that coaching is a really screwed up thing, because it's the greatest business opportunity on earth, I think, because again, you can start getting clients even before you even have a list. You get paid a lot for your time. You can start your business quickly. I mean, it's so great, but the curse of the coaching business is that we as coaches oftentimes think that we have to be perfect in order to coach someone else. In order to coach somebody on their business, I've got to be a billionaire. You know, I've got to have, if I want to coach somebody on relationships, I have to be married. I can't be single and help coach somebody to find love because I'm still single. Well, there's some truth that it's great if you're already there, but you can help people. Coaching helps people, is the facilitation of growth and change, and coaching is a process for helping people get a result. It's helping, you know, holding people accountable, helping people strategize. You don't have to have all your shit figured out yet, but yet as coaches we feel like we need to, and that we can't start helping someone else. I mean, if you can help people, then you can start coaching people, and you don't have to have it all figured out. But I felt all this pressure to be perfect, and I get down on myself, and then if a client left, I was like, oh my God, I must suck. Or if I had a free session, especially back in the early days when I didn't have this system down for doing those free sessions to get clients, I would do session after session after session. I got lucky in my very first month as a coach. I actually had a speaking gig, and I got a chance to give a talk and invite people to have a free session with me. My free session offer was not very enticing, so not a huge percentage of people in my audience took me up on it. And my free session process was really horrible because I had to do a ton of sessions to get some clients. But I had the system. I just didn't have I had the methodology. I just didn't have I was doing the right things, but not necessarily in the right way. But when you do sessions with people and they don't hire you, when you do a session after session and they don't hire you, you start feeling like, well, something's wrong with, because I was taught to do sample sessions where I give people a sample of coaching, where I would actually coach them for a half hour or even an hour or even longer, and just like try to save them and solve all their problems, because I thought that if I could just coach them good enough, then they would hire me. Yeah. Not realizing that the more problems I solve for them, the less likely they are to hire me, because I've already taken away a lot of their pain. Yeah. So the more I was coaching people, and probably the better I was coaching them, the more I thought that I wasn't a good coach, because then they weren't hiring me. And so I had all the self-confidence issues. Yeah. And that's the biggest breakthrough. The biggest breakthrough was to work through a lot of my stuff and finally get some confidence, and you know, I started charging more, started getting more clients, feeling more certain. And a lot of also the confidence came from doing all those sessions and failing, and trying something different, and then trying something else, and then trying something else, and trying something else, and just keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking my free session process to finally the point where I started getting more and more clients, And the more I realized that when I was coaching them less during that session, they'd hire me more, and then I started realizing, well, then it's not the quality of my coaching that is determining whether they hire me or not. And then another thing, I didn't sign clients up for a long-term contract when I first started. I would just let them kind of decide how long they wanted to, so they could, it was a month-to-month thing, and they could just stop coaching whenever they wanted. Well, if after 2 months they didn't get the result they wanted and they stopped coaching with me, I'd think, oh my God, I failed and they didn't get the result. Not realizing that most results take time. You know, if you want to grow your business or you want to lose 60 pounds, you're not going to lose it in the first month or two, right?
Yeah.
So it was a disservice to them to only have them hire me for, you know, on month to month. So I started having clients hire me for a minimum of 6 months, and then eventually a minimum of a year. Then clients started staying longer because they were already signed up for 6 months or a year or whatever, and then they'd stay even longer after that. And then of course, then clients started getting more results because they were with me longer, and all that started really building a cycle, an upward spiral of confidence that. And that's the number one biggest breakthrough.
Christian, well, thank you very much for sharing this. I can relate to this not as a coach, but I think confidence is an inner game for a lot of people, and I'm grateful you shared that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, and God bless everybody out there.
God bless.